Hello everyone, I'm Stock Fox and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be discussing a company called Palantir. Palantir is a software company that services commercial companies as well as government. Palantir has been known to be a company that could be controversial depending on who you ask. And we're going to kind of dive into that today, along with where you think Palantir stock is going to be headed into earnings. Let's go ahead and get and dive right in. I'm going to be sharing my screen with you here, and so let's go ahead and get started. Okay. So here on my screen, you should be able to see here Palantir in the left-hand corner. And you see that big word that says defense. As I just alluded to moments ago, Palantir has what they call Gotham and Foundry. Okay, so in regards to our military, Palantir helps our military helps military decision makers leverage critical information for data-driven decisions. Okay, that being said, this company called Palantir, along the way, for some reason or another, has picked up its detractors. Okay, for whatever reason, someone likes a company or don't like a company. Sometimes companies can get a bad rap, and then all of a sudden that plays out in a stock price tumbling. Not necessarily saying that that's the whole deal here with Palantir. But do I think the company should be trading where it is right now? No, I do not. This particular company has been beaten down along with other companies as well in this downturn or in this particular marketplace. I'm prior military myself, served our country proudly, and so I want to go ahead and just let that be known. So as we get ready to dive into Palantir here, you can see a picture here on the screen of some of our service members jumping from a plane here, and some of the things that Palantir does. As you can see, action data management or actionable data management here, it shows a globe. So Palantir is not just a company that helps us here at home, but it also helps us around the world as well as our allies. Okay, Palantir has a long tradition of providing cutting-edge technology to the United States Armed Forces and its allies. Okay, so let's take a look here. Why is this particular company so misunderstood? Okay, so why is it that there's such varying opinions? Either you're extreme to the left or extreme to the right when it comes to the assessment of Palantir. So I have some thoughts and ideas as to why I feel that way, but I will say this right here. Regardless of what we feel and think about this particular company, I would just say that the men and women that we send to Washington to basically, or that our political leaders who basically are there to make decisions on our behalf, I would like to give them a little bit of credit when they hire companies like Palantir to basically serve and protect our great nation, our great country. Okay, so on the screen here, you see an article here that says Palantir scores U.S. Army contract to build out intelligence data fabric. And if I scroll down here, you'll see Washington. The Army has awarded Palantir an $823 million contract to enable an intelligence data fabric and analytics as part of an effort to modernize legacy battlefield intelligence systems, the Army announced on Wednesday. So getting back to what I was just stating here, giving the men and women who we send to Congress, I think that they would probably deserve the benefit of the doubt when it comes to giving out practically $1 billion contract to someone who is going to protect our security and national interest, not only here at home, but around the world, and also protect our men and women in uniform. Okay, now I have some thoughts here in regards to why a company such as Palantir, who is here to serve and protect us. And I happen to think they do a great job of doing that. Why they get such a bad rap? Sometimes, sometimes just no fault of your own, or people sometimes can plant seeds of doubt, slant conversations in ways that has absolutely nothing to do with the company. What you see on my screen here is a clipping here from Rico, and it says here everything you need to know about Palantir, the secretive company coming for all your data. Well, that is cause for pause. Anytime I read a heading like that, first of all, it is going to get your attention, right? Let alone the picture in the screen as well, right? So, coming for all your data, it almost suggests that in the middle of the night, this company is peering into your windows, right? They have some secretive decoding device that is somehow stealing your secretive information. And that is just not the case. Palantir didn't invent an artificial intelligence. They weren't the first company to come up with artificial intelligence. There are many companies that have artificial intelligence. Palantir just happens to be one of them, and they just happen to be very good at how they use it. We've all heard of companies such as Apple. We've heard of Microsoft. We've heard of Google. We've heard of Facebook. They all use artificial intelligence. That being said, if you use your iPhone or whatever phone or device you use, or your computer, and you download or you Google something, within minutes, somebody is trying to pitch you or sell you some type of item. So this whole myth behind Palantir and what they do, what they don't do, this great secretive company. Let me ask you a question. If indeed Palantir, if you hired Palantir as a country and to protect and serve your military, right? To provide you software and intelligence, how intelligent would that be if they told you exactly what they did, how they did it, how secretive? Wouldn't we be giving up our greatest asset, or wouldn't Palantir be divulging the greatest asset that they have? There's no reason why they would share that with you. And if they ever did that, they would no longer be a client of our government. Okay? Not only would they lose them as clients, they lose all of their clients. Okay? So Palantir, I think that that there is a place for companies like Palantir. And instead of looking at a company like Palantir and saying they're secretive or using other words to describe them, we should maybe be applauding them for what they do and what they give to us, which is peace of mind when we sleep, knowing that we have the safety and the security of a company like this to protect our nation's interest. What is going on right now overseas with Russia and Ukraine? I'm quite sure that Palantir is providing intelligence to our military and our allies to keep them safe during this time. Okay, we can only pray that what happens between Ukraine and Russia, that doesn't get any further than where it is right now, because we certainly don't want to see our men and women or their men and women in harm's way. Let me go ahead and say very quickly here that this is, what I'm saying is not political, but I just feel the need to say something about a company that, that offers such a service to our national security, but yet and still doesn't get the respect that basically I feel that it's due. Now, as we look further on this article here, we begin to see Peter Thiel, which is one of the co-founders of Palantir. They're shaking hands with the previous president, Donald Trump, here in this article. Okay. Now, sometimes you can look at a picture and you can think a million thoughts all in one. Okay. As they say, sometimes a picture can tell a story. Well, sometimes you can take a picture and format your own story. And sometimes I feel that that is the case when it comes to Palantir. Okay, I think they get a bad rap sometimes. As I said before, when you mention the name Palantir, you get so many different varying opinions, whether that's extreme left or extreme right. And then you always get that, then you always get those who just sit in the middle who don't have an opinion one way or the other. Again, not a political show here, so not something that I'm interested in getting involved in. Again, this is a stock channel, and we're just here to make money. So we're going to be talking about Palantir a little further here, and so let's kind of dive a little bit further in here. And I want to talk about Peter Thiel just to give you a little bit of backstory about Peter Thiel and who he is. Okay, it says here that Peter Thiel, and again, any of this, all of this information is just public knowledge. If you just Google the individual, this information just comes up. So Peter Andrea Steele is a German-American billionaire entrepreneur, venture capitalist, political activist, and critic of democracy. It says a co-founder for PayPal, Palantir Technologies, and Founders Fund. He was the first outside investor in Facebook. Okay, so all of these great companies here, I'm sure that some of you out there watching this right now has used some of these companies. I certainly have used PayPal. I certainly have used Facebook. Okay, so again, this is an individual who's basically built out great companies within our country that we all basically have utilized and probably gained an advantage in some way. I certainly would like to think that we've all benefited from a company like Palantir, knowing that we can sleep peacefully at nighttime, knowing that they have their eyes in the right place when it comes to protecting our security and our national interests. Okay, so that being said, let's get into Palantir. It says Palantir stock forecast. How long will the sell-off last? Okay, well, let's get down here and let's take a look here. It says investors have fled Palantir stock in the face of wider market corrections that have hounded tech stocks in 2022. But with a strong balance sheet, no debt, and growing margins, will Palantir prove to be a strong long-term investment? And is Palantir stock currently a buy, sell, or hold? As I stated earlier, anything that I say is not a suggestion for you to either buy, sell, or hold a stock, okay? Because I'm not a financial advisor. That being said, let's take a look here and go a little further into Palantir. On Yahoo Finance, it shows here that the price to sales ratio here is 1765. This is down by, this has been cut by half, more than half since 12/31/2020, basically since its IPO date, okay? Those are indicators to me when I look at that may be an opportunity to leg into a stock that may be at the bottom. No one can predict the bottom of where a stock is going to be, but I will say that sometimes certain charts can tell a story. As we look at the price to sell ratio here, it says that the price to sell ratio, for those of you who don't know, is a valuation ratio that compares a company's stock price to its revenues. It's an indicator, as I said before, an indicator for me of the value that financial markets have placed on each dollar of a company's sales or revenues, okay? So that being said, let's take a look at some of the charts here on Palantir. So as I'm looking at Palantir, the one-day chart as of the close of business on Friday, February the 11th, Palantir basically closing after hours at $13.07, okay? Now, I don't just like to look at a one-day chart when I'm looking at a company. I really like to kind of go back and, sometimes a month to 3 months to get some idea of where a company was trading prior to before I make a business decision to get into that particular asset or that particular company, okay? So let's go ahead and take a look here. I'm going to go ahead and bounce over here to a 6 month. If we go back 6 months, and it looks here on the chart, as you can see, the stock was trading at $28.58 on September the 24th, 2021. That wasn't that long ago. So let's take a look here. From that point on, you can begin to see nothing but a downhill decline for Palantir. basically dropping off and losing more than 55 or 54.33% of its value. Okay, that is tremendous. Now, is that a reason why you should buy a company just because it fell more than 55%? No, absolutely not the only reason you should buy it. But if you were buying it at the 28, the 25s, and the 24s, it does lend me to pause to ask, why wouldn't you buy it at these levels? Okay, barely above its IPO price. This seems to me that this will be a great opportunity to DCA into what I consider to be a really great company. Now, DCA, for those of you who don't know, is dollar cost averaging in. Okay, that means you buy a little bit now. If the stock pulls back some more, you buy a little bit more. Okay, if the stock advances or starts to go up, you're constantly putting a little bit in so that you're not going to get hurt too badly if the stock goes in the down direction or goes against you. Okay, so that being said, we've taken a look at a 6-month chart here, and we can see exactly how far it's off of its 6-month highs. Let's go back to the 30-day. And this is one of the reasons why I kind of feel that maybe Palantir is either at a bottom or near the bottom. If you go here and you look here at this dip on this chart here, on this day, you can see the movement here on January the 13th. The stock is sitting at basically $16, and it moves down here to January 27 at $12.28, which is where it's trading. You can see it bounces from that point on, and it bounces up off of that. Okay, so it bounces off of the $12.28 mark. It's like either retail investors came in and swooped in and said that enough's enough. We see a bottom, and they begin to buy. Well, as you can see here, the stock hits 14.20 a few days later, and then all of a sudden begins the downtrend again, because basically inflation, the Fed is talking about raising interest rates. People get, got paper hands in the market right now. They're ready to trade at a minute's notice or sell off at a minute's notice. So here we go again. But what I find that is telling is not so much that the stock dipped, it's that it bounced again. So again, at $12.45, very close to this price here, the stock bounced off of this and basically started to trend back up. So is that a sign that maybe that is where people are basically showing? Is that the resistance that we're looking at right there? I feel that it is. I feel that is the resistance for this stock at that level. Okay, but again, how do we protect ourselves not knowing what we don't know? And that is that we dollar cost average in. Okay, that is the smartest and the wisest thing to do, especially when you're in a market like this right here. Okay, I don't want this stock to turn around and start to spike or shoot up, on some good news. And is there good news on the horizon? Possibly. Palantir will be reporting its earnings, as you can see here, on February the 17th of this month. Now, that being said, for those of you who know this particular company, and again, it's always good and wise to do your own homework and your own due diligence, okay? So that being said, Palantir has been known, okay, when they report for their stocks to go up. But it's also been known that when their stocks go up, they don't stay up very long, okay? They do have a tendency to retrace, okay, back to their norms or back to their lows. So make sure that if you're going to either DCA into this stock or leg into this stock, that you do your homework and your due diligence, okay? That being said, as we look here, let's see exactly what the analysts are saying about this particular company. If we're looking at Barron's here, we'll see here that most of the analysts kind of have the stock pretty much as a hold, sell to hold, mode here. And that's probably just, where we are right now in this country, not knowing what the Federal Reserve is going to do in regards to inflation, how they're going to handle the interest rate hikes. Okay, so as you can see here to the right here, the current price is at $13.56. They have a high of $25 on this stock, the analysts do, and they have a low of $13. but they have an average of around $19. Okay, so that is still quite a bit of runway from where the stock is right now, even if we're just looking at the average. If we look over here at a clip from Tip Ranks here, they actually have a moderate sale. So again, a moderate sale to hold, pretty close to what a lot of the analysts from Barron's were saying as well, which is a high of $25 and with a average price target of $20.71, and again the lowest price target of $18. So if we're looking at what these analysts basically are predicting for this stock, it would seem to me that either they figured something out or they're saying that the stock is oversold at this point. Because even if we give it its lowest price target, which is $18 or $20 as a medium here, we still have quite a bit of runway, and there's still an opportunity here to make some money. And that being said, that's exactly why we are here, and that's exactly why this channel is here. At the end of the day, we all want to make money, okay? So I would really like to know what each and every one of you are going to do regarding Palantir, whether you're going to do nothing, if your intentions is to at least take up a position in this stock from a short-term position or a long-term position. Please leave me a comment down below what your thoughts are, and please like and subscribe to my channel.